They're definitely not doing the job. The government is not doing the job. The government is so busy blaming and finding a scapegoat for the whole thing, instead of really sitting up and taking notice of the fact that the people have no faith in the police. They've lost all faith in the police. So there's no communication between the police and the public. I can guarantee you that even today, some people, whichever community they belong to, would definitely know who are the perpetrators of this terrorist attack. They would definitely at least have an inkling who are the persons who are responsible for this terrorist attack. But they are scared, they are afraid of coming forward, they are afraid of sticking their necks out, because instead of being appreciated, instead of being treated in confidence,
even today, I want to go across to Kiran Kher. Even today, after the attack, within moments, we saw both parties begin politics. We saw the BJP go there, Nitin Gadkari attack the government say very unhappy with the BJP for adjourning parliament. The problem is our politicians keep trying to score brownie points, and it's the people on the street, the people of this country suffer, and frankly nobody seems to care about them, Ms. Kher.
Is it?
Yes ma'am, please.
You're asking me, Rahul?
That's right, ma'am.
I'm sorry, but I barely heard your what you said. But I'd like to comment on what some of the other panelists said earlier. I would like to say that I agree with the gentleman from the police force that it is the political bosses that do not allow the police to function properly. In fact, many people from the anti-terrorist squads have told us, unofficially of course, that their hands are tied. They can no longer even pick up boys for questioning because there are human rights problems, there are all kinds of people sitting on their backs saying you can't touch this one, you can't touch that one. If they're not going to be allowed to even question people, even when they're sitting on high alert, to try and find out from their sources who could have sneaked in, what are the plans, how are they going to function. There is nothing preemptive being done at all. We are perceived as a soft state. The Prime Minister says it is a long war. I'd like to ask you, Dr. Manmohan Singh, when are you going to fire the first salvo? When are we going to start this war against terrorism? Because so far we are just sitting ducks. You know, they're doing nothing about it.
Those are strong points you make, and let me put that question to the people from the security forces. I begin with Mr. Dutt. Mr. Dutt, let's be frank. Do you agree with the assessment of our other experts who say because of politics our security forces are not being able to do their job properly?
Well, this is something which I've been hearing for a very long time. In fact, I would say ever since I had joined the service in '71 and retired in 2008. But the question is that this sort of thing is more talked about than felt. Yes, there are certain fields or areas in which we do find that if there was a greater commitment of the politicians, of the government, then we would definitely be able to make better strides. Let me give you an example. We have to purchase certain items, gadgets, bulletproof vests, weapons for the forces. Now this is something which cannot take a year or 2 years or 3 years. This is something which needs to be put on a fast track. Now unless we do this, we will not be able to equip our force or train it on that equipment to be able to face a situation. Security is something in which we find that the terrorists are changing their methods. They are becoming more sophisticated. This type of equipment which they are using is much more. So the result is that even our professionalism has to be raised to a higher level. And that can be also done through training and through the latest gadgets. Now if the government turns around and tells us, look, you bought something just 6 months ago, and if the force comes up and says that we need something new which has entered the market, I think the government should stand by that force and allow that item to be purchased.
Oh, absolutely, and they should let the experts do their job. I want to introduce Prem Garg, chairman of Shri Lal Mahal. He was at the Delhi High Court this morning when the blast took place. Thank you very much, Mr. Garg. Welcome to our show. What did you see, and how angry are you with our politicians for the inability to protect the people?